Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Lacho Chives, Prala Peña. Good morning. It is Romani Resistance Day, and it was the song you just heard. The song from Sarnes Symphonic Media Zuralia Orchestra, the Romanian Roma band, which performed the song from the movie Schindler's List. And I would like to thank this band for this amazing song, especially the clarinet performer Relu, Mr. Relu. Thank you, great song. I now have on the phone, because it's Romani Resistance Day, I have on the phone Mr. Grattan Puxon. Good morning.
Lacho Dives,
Mr. Grattan Puxon. Thank you for taking your time and to be with us in the radio. It's Romani Resistance Day, and I'm coming back again to you, same as on Roma Nation Day, to speak about what actually happened in the history with our Roma. When did they resist? Why we call this day as Romani Resistance Day?
Nani buta shundo su loko deshushofto mayo kana o Roma kede kokore mai bari resistance an Auschwitz logori. The 16th of May 1944, there were in the Zigeuner lager, known as the Gypsy family camp, some several thousand Roma, some younger men, but mostly old men, women and children. And they heard through the grapevine in the camp that the SS would be coming to them and finish off the camp. It is recorded through some Roma and Jewish witnesses that the Roma in the Zigeuner lager managed to break in to a tool room and arm themselves with various work tools, and also to take pieces of wood from their own banks in their barracks. And they locked themselves in their barracks, ready to defend themselves against death. For there was no way out except to fight or to give in and die. And so happened on the morning of the 16th of May, the greatest uprising that occurred in the whole history of the huge Auschwitz camp. And it is surprising that even today, few people have heard of this. When the SS approached the first barracks, some of the Roma came out and began to fight with them, with the few weapons they had, with the sticks and with their bare hands, and also shrieking and crying and shouting loud. And the SS, after getting some blood on them, retreated. And it was a victory, in a symbolic way, a great victory. And in the reality of their lives, just a small victory. Because in the following days, the SS returned and took out from the Zigeuner lager all the Roma men who were in any way healthy or strong or young or able to fight back, until there remained on the night of 2nd and 3rd of August just the last old people, old women and children who could not any longer expect to defend themselves. And they, in one of the great tragedies of history, were taken in lorries by force in a roundabout route.
Okay, Mr. Grattan.
To the gas chambers. And this day we must never forget. And this day that was the 16th of May, the day of resistance, must be a signal and an example to us to fight back and to be united in our fight and to come together in a professional way too, we must say, to fight back, to be organized and win the respect that is due to the Roma people today and the individual rights that have been denied so many in their everyday lives.
Amen. It's absolutely true, 2nd of August. So 2nd of August we commemorate the tragedy of the Romani victims of the Roma Holocaust. On the 2nd of August there was so-called final solution for Tsigoiners. So the Roma have been mass murdered. 2000, roughly the numbers are 2,997 Roma men, women and children have been mass murdered. And since then we are commemorating the 2nd of August as our day, as the European Roma Holocaust Memorial Day. So these events, the 2nd of May, 16th of May, it was the first Romani uprising. Roma protested, but we know what happened later. The history shows us. So if we're gonna move Mr. Grattan to nowadays situation, you try to unite, and I'm trying to unite also, and others trying to unite the Roma and to bring Roma to democratic transition, to have some collective voice and to improve our situation in the Europe, in the world. We must resist. But sometimes I feel that Roma are sleeping. I see that people are sitting instead of standing.
Yes. Many people are disheartened and disorganized and apathetic and afraid. And I would also have to mention that we have just celebrated Erdélezi, Grattan. And in 1941, we have to remember, on the day of Erdélezi, that the Roma in Hrvatska, in Croatia, were rounded up by the Ustasha and taken to the terrible Jasenovac murder camp, which was a worse destination for many Roma than Auschwitz itself. The murders there are unbelievable and unspeakable. But nevertheless, Erdélezi is a great celebration today, and it is around that time that we remember that we are all one. And of course, 8th of April is becoming now common and well known as the Roma Nation Day. Not, I must say, the International Day of Roma or such names, but the Day of the Roma Nation Day. This was the intention of the First World Romani Congress in London in 1971, that we should remember the 8th of April as Roma Nation Day. And so we come then to 2nd of August and our efforts to commemorate and to not forget the Nabistras, amen. And in London we shall be gathering, and I hope all of you who hear this broadcast in London will be ready to come at 12 o'clock on the 2nd of August to what is now our traditional London Roma Holocaust Memorial Day, which will take place close to the Hyde Park Holocaust Memorial. And to remember on that day particularly that the UK government has set up some 2 years ago a Holocaust Commission, which has the job of building an important memorial to all the victims of the Holocaust and to open a learning center about the Holocaust, so that it shall not be forgotten. But one thing they have very much forgotten, and that is to include Roma in the Holocaust Commission, to be appointed as members to that commission, as there are now in that commission, of course, our Jewish brothers. And we have expected to be treated as equals, but we are not. We are again excluded and marginalized in a way that feels to us like racial discrimination.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you, Grattan. It's a strong, serious things which we have been talking. And I would like to say one more thing before we're gonna end up. What about this democratic transition? What happened with the democratic transition? Last time when you have been in the radio and speaking on about democratic transition, people started to waking up and tried and already registered themselves on the email which you have provided. Is the numbers are growing? Other people are ready and interested to be to get those voting rights and elect our own leaders?
Yes, there is a very encouraging response to the democratic transition conception, which started about 2 years ago. The idea that if you analyze our situation, even the First World Romani Congress certainly lacked a democratic dimension, in that at the most 70 people came together, really 30 people effectively from Eastern and Western Europe, to decide some very important work that we needed to found a Romani movement after the Second World War, to have a flag, to have an anthem, to have a national day. All that was good work. But it was not possible, of course, at that time. There was no system for having a real democratic movement. But today, we have the computer, we have the mobile phone, we have everything needed to build a true Roma nation mandate. Every Roma can have a vote. And slowly, that concept is taking root. And every day now, there comes into the Roma vote at gmail.com 5 to 10 new people from many parts of the world, from Argentina, from Albania, from Serbia, from Turkey, from all over Western Europe. This is happening quite quickly. And I will tell you that the numbers at the moment are quite small. The number is around 600.
That's not small. I remember there was a small number on the beginning, so it's growing up. It is growing up. It's good.
And although these numbers are not great numbers, I believe when we reach 1,000, because these are active people, these are people who have computers, who are quite in a, if you like, privileged position. They are on the internet. And when we reach 1,000, I believe the democratic process, the democratic transition will be irreversible. That anybody who wants to be in a significant leadership position in the Roma movement from now on will need to have a mandate from the people. The people shall decide who the delegates are for the next Congress, which is scheduled for 220, and that it will then be in the hands of Roma communities to bring ourselves forward in the way we have hoped to do for so many years. But one has to also bear in mind that this is not a movement just about voting, because this is the political system we see all over the world, and some people are not happy with this system.
What is the philosophy on this behind? What kind of philosophy, political philosophy, is behind this Roma democratic transition?
I wanted to say that when we speak of democracy, What we want is participatory democracy, not just about a ballot and a vote. The democratic transition can move the movement forward to a position when it is possible to coordinate, to mobilize very big numbers of people when it is necessary, to coordinate across Europe. When we heard of the death of 3 girls in Italy now, we are not prepared yet to react together and mobilize big demonstrations. Excuse me.
No worries.
But we can coordinate better.
We can.
Once we have the system to do so through our computers.
Sure, the 3 girls died very horribly. Angelica, Francesca, I remember some names. Age 4, 8, 20. They died in the caravan. Someone burned the caravan and they died inside. And the numbers of murders, of racial murders, since democracy in Europe happened, since 1989, I don't even remember the numbers, but if it's like every year are, like if I cannot say like 10, 15 people murdered, racially murdered, the number will go up to maybe 800, 1,000 people across the Europe who have been murdered for 27 years in democracy, which we see in the European Union.
Yeah, I have been keeping a record. I have a file here of these murders, and it is several hundred people have been murdered since 1984. It is particularly bad in Bulgaria, in the Czech Republic, in Slovakia, in Romania, in Hungary too. And it is not only the murder, it is of course, as somebody just said on Facebook very rightly, that it is a kind of murder when you don't have the education, when you can't get the education you need at school, when you can't get work. This is all a kind of murder, a murder of our rights and our right to have a normal life. Discrimination and marginalization continues at a terrible rate, and it's getting worse. The racial violence, the anti-Tsiganismos is on the rise everywhere.
Anti-Gypsy is the new term which is now very claimed in the European Union. This is actually the biggest problem in the Europe, because when we see this is everything, the special racial attitude towards us from Gage, this is anti-Gypsyism. What they doing with us? They don't giving us proper rights to educate our children. They don't give our women to get birth in proper hospital. They have special rooms for our Romani women who are giving the birth to the children. Children still are segregated. Roma are in poverty. Roma have no rights to get employment. Discrimination in employment. So it is big complex of this. How we are treated in European Union, how hypocritically we are treated in this kind of democracy. Mr. Grattan, I would like to thank you for your short speech and for your input in Romani Resistance Day, and I wish you as always Lačo Csivesen sasto baktalo pusa stipentu menge boiman puro sana penena menge leternenge so amen mainaste kerel, and I appreciate everything what you are saying, because you are the old person and we young generation, we need to learn from our old generation, especially from people who have been working in the Roma field.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Acende vlesa.
We speak again, Mr. Grattan, soon about some common issues, and thank you very much. Mr. Grattan Puxon from Romani Resistance. Today is Romani Resistance, and after the song I will have a short interview with Mr. Billa. Thank you. Two gypsy guitars, great, amazing classic Romani music on Radio Devleskarodrom. Before this song, you have listened, you have heard Mr. Grattan Puxon, who was the first former secretary of 1971 of International Romani Union. Mr. Grattan Puxon is in the age of 80 plus, so he has lots of to tell us. But now I will have a special guest from France, and I will call him right now. It is Mr. William Billa. Oh, hello. Hello, William. Good morning, and thank you for coming to our radio.
I'm on the radio now.
You
okay.
are already there. You are on air.
Okay, you can hear me okay?
Yeah,
Everything's okay?
Everything is working fine. So, William, before I'm gonna start to speak about Romani Resistance, I would like if you can introduce, if you can give us some short introduction about you. I know you from Krakow. I know you are activist, I know you are involved in Roma Education Fund and many other things. So if you can say something about you, thank you.
Okay, well, very shortly, my name is Billa. I was born in New York. My parents come from Slovakia. I'm a Roma from my mother's side and Gajo for my father's side, but I consider myself 100% Roma, 100% American, 100% Slovak. There's no 50-50, none of this business. I don't believe in this.
Okay.
I went to school, was raised in the United States until I was 21, 22 years old. Then I moved to Prague with my job. I graduated with a degree in finance, and I worked in business. Worked for different consulting firms, worked for a very large insurance company, and decided to leave the corporate world, let's say about 2.5 years ago,
Really?
because, and it was then that I started getting more involved with Roma activism in the 1990s, just a little bit here and there. Write a letter, attend a protest, just to get involved. And over time, it became more of an involvement. In 2008, I was in Toronto when there was a big wave of refugees coming from Hungary and from Czech Republic to Canada, and I got involved with the Roma Community Center in Toronto at the time, helping to translate, helping people get papers. And basically, I think since this time in 2008, 2009, I became vice president of the Roma Community Center in Toronto. Since then, I've been more and more and intensively involved. So you can say really for the last 8 years, doing more and more. I've been involved in the Roma Education Fund, a little bit with ERRC, small organization in the UK called Roma Education Support Trust. And here in France now with La Voix des Roms, I've taken over the presidency over the last year. But La Voix des Roms, it's a very interesting grassroots organization with a great mix of people. It was established in 2005 by Samir Mile, who used to be the president. He's still around. He's still part of the organization.
Okay. I met Samir. It's a great person. It's a great person which I met in my life, Samir, and sending greetings. Thank you. I didn't know about this presidency. So you are now the president of this group, Lavo Rom?
Since last year, since May 2016. Yes.
Excuse me for this pronunciation. I can't speak French.
It's okay. It's French. Okay.
I'm Rom. But so you are the president of Lavo Rom, and this organization. What I'm aware in the Roma world, that this organization started this initiative of Romani Resistance. Is it right?
Yes, I think you can say that. I think really we were the first ones. It was it started a little bit before I got, just a little bit before I got involved. But there was some research that was done and some discoveries about what happened in 1944 on May 16th, and everyone started realizing that this is an important story, but it's not really told very much. This is our history. We have a chance to create the narrative here, and this is very important because everybody likes to tell us what our history is. Everybody likes to tell us what our language is, how it's divided, how it's not divided. Everybody has their own theory, and nobody can agree, and that's just the gaje. So that if you talk about us, then yes, of course we have disagreements, but we're allowed to, just like everybody else, to disagree. And so we thought, well, this is an important moment to take the story and tell it our way, and also use it as a kind of motivation for how we act going forward. So it's the story of the uprising in Auschwitz. It's in the darkest hour of humanity, where people really were desperate. They had nothing left to live for, nothing to lose. But what happened was there were a couple of trains that were planned to come in, and with the Sonderkommando, the intelligence network that existed in this prison camp, they found out that, in the next 2 or 3 days, they're going to kill us all. So they said, well, no, we're not going to just go away slowly and die and give up. We're going to put up a fight. And so with this intelligence, they started to gather rocks and pieces of glass and stones and an axe or wherever. They actually, when this happened and they decided to do this, there was so much noise, so much commotion that basically, I mean, they ended up kidnapping, taking hostage a couple of SS people. So it was a very, very strong fight, so strong that they ended up delaying this mass execution. What they had to do, the Germans, they had to wait, they had to put down the uprising, then they had to divide the families, they sent some people away to different camps, and then, yes, of course, 3 months later, then August 2nd, we know the tragedy of the mass killings, the 2,000, 3,000 people in one day all killed, but it didn't happen on May 16th, it happened in August, because people fought and they took control of the future, and we want to use that as a kind of inspiration to say, hey, even under the worst conditions, you have the power to act. You have the power, you have a choice. You can vote, you can get involved, you can get up and leave your country, you can participate in some kind of protest. You have the power to do something. And you have the power to tell the story. We are telling the story of May 16th because it's our story of Roma and Sinti people, and we're telling it to Roma people. And if Gaje want to listen, they can hear it. But we're not telling it for everyone else. We're telling it for ourselves. So this is very important because this is what we should be doing now to retell our own history and take the stereotypes that exist and use them for our advantage.
Definitely.
So this is the story behind the May 16th and the spirit of May 16th, that we take power, we have control.
Totally agree with you. We need to learn also the history. Roma are really confused with the history. There are some new theories that we came from, I don't know, I don't want to talk about this, but also about our roots, where we come from. So our history is really now getting mixed, and probably I would work on those Roma degrees or people from the Roma history background to create some kind of proper Roma nation history, because we don't have any proper book. There are so many books about history that some people can get confused. Back to the Romani resistance. Nowadays, we see this oppression and discrimination ongoing, which is now in democracy happening in the European, not just in the European Union, but outside the EU, where Roma also are living. So how would you compare the resistance in 1944 to nowadays? How would you take this initiative to people to wake up or to fight for their rights? Because what I said also to Mr. Grattan Puxon, people are sitting, people are not standing, people are not fighting for their rights, people are just talking.
Yeah, that's a problem. We have to take responsibility for ourselves, and we have to motivate each other to work harder. And yeah, I don't know if I'm answering exactly your question, but to take this history of if people in such a desperate situation were able to do such a heroic act, that we can remember it 70, 72 years, 73 years later, and we want to remember this to do honor to these ancestors of ours who were there. Some of them, many of them who didn't survive. To honor them, we should act. We have to do something. So that's the point. And I mean, even with our festival, we try to also take things like we have this icon, this picture of the woman with the axe. So we have the power to change the future by taking these stereotype images and turn them into something strong for us. It's not the Esmeralda, the crazy fortune teller from Victor Hugo, who everybody just wants to sexualize. But no, it's a strong woman who can fight. And we need to make sure that we have men and women and children, all of us, we have to work together to learn our history, to learn how to get involved, to learn how to fight for ourselves, and to remember that power isn't given, it's taken, and this is what we have to do.
Great, thank you. I saw on the internet, on Facebook, because I'm following you and I'm following your organizations, You have done the recent event of Romani Resistance on Sunday. Was it on Sunday? On the 13th?
It was Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday.
sorry, Saturday. Can you tell us something more? Because I saw the young generation was there, the hip hop music was there. What happened? What was happening?
Okay, well, we had a whole program, and this you can see the program. It's still available on the website. It's Insurrection Gitan, so Insurrection Gitane. If you put that in Google, you'll find it, and there's a program for the whole day. So we had some different musical performers. We had some children singing, so we gave them a chance to sing for the community in front of everyone. This festival, it took place in this town just outside of Paris called Saint-Denis, so it's the greater Paris area, but it's symbolically important because the first mentions of Roma people in French history, in the French National Archives, are mentioned in 1427, exactly in this location, in this town, in front of the church where all the kings of France are buried. We had that festival there. So we're going back to history to live today, say we're here today and we're still around, and we're let everybody see us and know that we're happy to be there. Other than the musical performances, there was also 2 political debates. We have 2 very important campaigns right now. One is about education for children, and the other one is about police violence. Okay. We had a round table of different people participating, Roma people speaking about their experience, people living in shanty towns, living in squats, living in unfortunate conditions, who are trying to get their kids to go to school. By law, children must go to school in France. By law, they're not supposed to refuse you, but there's every kind of bureaucratic administration stops Roma parents from getting their kids in school because they say, oh, this isn't a legal residency, you don't have residency here, some kind of paperwork. They want 3 months of electric bills when everyone else in France only has 1 month of electric bills. They ask for lots of extra information that they're not supposed to. And so we are really fighting, and this has been happening for 20 years. The migrant Roma from Romania and Bulgaria living in these conditions, rather than spending the money on housing and integration, education, making sure kids are in school, they're fighting, and the system is such that kids are not allowed to go to school because of all of these bureaucratic procedures. We want everyone to know this, and we want the Roma parents to know what they can do, because they have to be active and fight to get their kids into school. But there is a possibility. It's just harder for you to do it. It shouldn't be. And we are making sure that the French population knows, and the officials and the authorities know, when there is a difficulty, we need to report it, because this can't continue. We have a whole generation of French Roma, or Roma kids or migrants who have come to France. And it's not just them. It's also the traveler Roma from France. This also sometimes happens to them. And yes, some of them, not always, but in some places, and also other immigrants. This is being used as an excuse not to give children education, and we need to fight against this. So this was our first debate, and we talked about this to help the parents and help the public know what is happening. Because if we don't organize and we don't tell everybody what's happening, nothing is going to change.
Exactly. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised of the attitude of the French government. I hope that with new President Macron, the change will come for French government and the attitude. Because
we hope so too. We had a chance to actually meet with Macron before the first round of the elections.
Okay.
So
how is he?
We hope that he remembers us, and we hope that we have a chance to continue further. We'll see.
Well done. Because in UK we have different situation in United Kingdom for Roma migrants. I cannot say these bad things, in terms of education. There are really some positive stuff in UK. But comparing French, this what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, also with these shanty towns and with these evictions, it needs to come the change, and I hope the change will come with Mr. Macron. William Billa, also I would like to ask you about the issues of deportation. There was something happening recently in the guy who was who was part of the event of the Romani Resistance, who was performing, he put something that he's gonna be deported. What happened? How can someone be deported in European Union? I don't understand this. When is the freedom of movement?
Well, technically, yes. I don't know all of the details, and we're trying to find the details. But Selamet Prizreni, who I'm not sure if he was born in Germany or if he was born in Kosovo, but his family is from Kosovo. And if he wasn't born there, then he was living in Germany since he was a small child, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and lived there all his life. But for some reason today, I don't know all of the details of the charges or what's happening, but basically, on this day, on Romani Resistance Day, the police came to his apartment at 5 o'clock in the morning, and for whatever charges that exist, and they're deporting him, taking him to the airport. So now, at 12 o'clock, they said that the flight leaves at 12 o'clock from Dusseldorf. They're sending him to Kosovo. This is one of the artists that performed at our event on Saturday. He was one of they rap. They're artists, they're singers, they're members of their community. Their entire family is in Germany. They've lived in Germany all of their lives, except when they were deported once 2 years ago. There's 3 brothers. 2 of them were sent away, and a film was made about it by Sami Mustafa, another Roma, but a Roma film director who created this film. He's from Macedonia. The brothers are from Kosovo, and it's just crazy. So we have a Twitter campaign right now on Facebook. We want everyone to contact Angela Merkel, the German Ministry of the Interior, your European parliamentarians. Just ask them, why is he being deported, and stop the deportation. There should, people should be able to stay where their families are. They're not, I don't know what happens, what kind of charges they can if there is some kind of issue there, justice can be served in Germany. There's no need to deport anyone. Yeah.
Exactly, and we see also the deportation from Germany. Last year there was a big demonstration. Do you remember? There was a demonstration on this memorial. Where is the memorial of the Holocaust?
Yes.
It is alarming message for us, probably.
It is that it's still continuing this way. Yes.
William, thank you very much for your input for today, Romani Resistance, and thank you also for your short speech and description, everything what you have said, and I really appreciate it. I hope our listeners will like it. William, would you like to say on the end something important for Roma people who are listening?
Yes, please. Just very shortly, just the second political debate from our event was about police violence, and there was a French Manouche who was killed by the police. Also, unfair, ridiculous case, and we are asking for an investigation on the police officers. We need everyone's help to organize and support this. Please have a look at our website, Insurrection Gitan. Have a look at my Twitter site. Have a look at the Facebook site of La Voix de Rome. You will find the information there. Please share it. We need to fight and organize together to stop police violence, to help children go to school, and to stop the deportations.
This police violence, which you have been talking, is happening in France. But
yes.
But there is ongoing problem with police violence across Europe. In Slovakia, you remember Vrbnica, Moldova, where Roma have been beaten for nothing. So maybe it is this big issue for the European Union to deal with these issues with police violence, because it's not just one state of the member of states who is doing it. It's more of them. Slovakia.
Yes, and it's not just against Roma. It's against various people. Yes.
Definitely. William, thank you for your input and wishing you all the best. And hopefully we're gonna speak again on some topics in the future.
Thank you. I look forward to it. I'll be happy to talk to you anytime. Yeah.
Thank you, William. Have a good day and enjoy the Romani Resistance. And I hope for Romani Nation just the better future.
Yeah. You too.
Thank you.
Check out the Twitter.
I will definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. William Billa from France. William Billa from France, Roma activist, as you have heard. He's president of the organization La Voix Rome. Hopefully I pronounced it now good. La Voix Rome, who are doing good positive things for Roma people in France. Now another music, Hamo Csadas from Hungarian people. Tak to byl Hamul Čardáš. Hamul Čardáš, it was Hamul Čardáš, and now I'm gonna speak in Czech, so please apologize me, because I will have a guest from Czech Republic, so people who doesn't speak Czech really apologize. To byl Hamul Čardáš od maďarských Romů a teďko mám tady na drátě pana Vojtu Ráce. Dobrý ráno, pane Rác.
Přeju taky krásný den.
Já děkuji, že jste se nám dneska připojil takhle po ránu. Dneska je den oslavy romského odboje, 16. květen. A z historie víme, že jediný romský odboj nastal v roce 1944, 16. května, kde Romové se zabarikádovali a udělali odpor na SS.
Ano. Byly to složky SS.
Složkám SS a také v koncentračním táboře v Auschwitzu. To byl jediný odboj v historii, který vlastně Romové udělali, zorganizovali. Od té doby se nic nestalo. Žádný romský odboj nenastal. A já bych na tohleto téma navázal s váma. A proč nenastal žádný romský odboj, proč to tak je, proč Romové vlastně sedí a nestojí za své práva?
Tak ta situace v tom roce 1944 byla tak nastíněná, že opravdu v tom roce vlastně už začaly převládat ruský vojska, jo? Takže ta fronta tak postupovala, že Romové vlastně dostali velký impuls právě od sovětské armády. Tím, že prostě si byli jistí, že nějaký to vítězství a vlastně už se měl blížit i konec války. Takže ten odboj nastal v té době, ano. A vlastně byl to pud sebezáchovy, protože v této situaci vlastně Romové si částečně zachránili i život. Tím, že povstali, tak vlastně vyvodili takovou situaci, že vlastně si chránili svůj vlastní život tímto povstáním. No samozřejmě, že to pak gradovalo, ale nebyla to jediná ze situací, kterou Romové vyvolali, jako, protože Romové jako takový na Slovensku byli v odboji ve velkém počtu, ale nehovořilo se o tom.
V jakém odboji mluvíte?
Odboj partizáni.
Ano.
A tak jo, i prostě byla velká podpora romského obyvatelstva jako takového směrem k partizánům, to znamená, že je podporovali v potravinách, zásobování a tak podobně. Toto Romové činili. Takže se o tom nehovořilo hodně a takový ty významné věci, jako třeba byl ten rok 1944, kdy se postavili na odboj těm složkám, na odpor těm složkám SS, tak to vlastně bylo už prostě pud sebezáchovy. Tam oni se postavili k tomu, že si vlastně zachránili život. Tím odbojem si zachránili život. Ale ten odboj se vyvíjel daleko před touto akcí, jo, která proběhla. Ten odboj, ta organizace jako taková, organizačně ty Romové už byli pohromadě. Věděli o sobě, byli to dost tak utajený buňky těchto, ale bylo to pod nějakou patronací partizánů a nebo teda toho odboje, protifašistického odboje. Takže takhle. Ale ta otázka teda zněla tak, proč ty Romové teda nepokračují v těchto tradicích, když už teda jednou věděli, že svým vlastním přičiněním mohou tyto věci měnit. A pokud svoji vůli nějakým způsobem nedají najevo, tak tyto věci prostě se nemění. Takže byl konec války, Romové samozřejmě byli více v té východní zóně, jo? Takže to rozdělení prostě zůstalo na tom bodě, že socialismus už žádný odboj nedovolil. Komunismus. Komunismus byl prostě jednoznačně prostě nastaven na to, že se děly změny a Romové vlastně probíhali nějakým integračním procesem, který víceméně pro Romy byl obrovským přínosem, takže nebylo potřeba dělat odboje. Ano, byli i Romové, kteří byli součástí Charty 77. Je spousta Romů, kteří se podepsali do charty, což je taky jedna odnož toho, že se to dá nazvat odbojem. A byla to charta, samozřejmě víš, Pavlíku, o co se jedná. Charta 77 vlastně byl protitlak proti komunismu. Nesouhlas s režimem. A tam taky Romové byli. Spousta známých Romů, Romové, kteří jsou i součástníci, tak byli vlastně podepsaný v této listině lidských práv, která obsahovala vlastně podstatu lidských práv, kde teda byli podepsaní i Romové. Tento dokument měl název Charta 77. Takže opět se posouváme v čase. Posouváme se dopředu. Byla sametová revoluce, rok 89 a Romové opět vstoupili na scénu. To znamená, že Romové byli od prvopočátku, absolutně od prvopočátku, byli opět v odboji. To znamená, že ty manifestace, ta velká stávka na Staroměstském náměstí, to se dá nazvat odboj proti režimu. A bylo to tak, že skutečně toto bylo velmi účinné, že ten režim padl. A Romové byli zúčastněni, takže ten odboj nezaniknul nikdy. Romové jsou vždy zúčastněni v těchto klíčových situacích. Nebudu jmenovat samozřejmě, ale ty hlavní vůdcové romského hnutí, ty byli od prvého okamžiku vlastně na tom Staroměstském náměstí. Tento odboj nadále trvá, jenže nemá tu intenzitu, která by byla správně nasměrovaná. To znamená, že Romové vlastně nemohou proti něčemu protestovat, co je demokratické a co demokracie povoluje. Demokracie povolila vstup fašistických spolků a zlegalizovala je natolik, že vlastně jsou součástí tohoto demokratického procesu. A vlastně Romové mají jedinou možnost, dá se to taky nazvat odbojem, prostě vystupovat tvrdě proti fašismu, rasismu a fašismu. Což je doména, která dnes funguje vlastně po celém světě, jo? Absolutně po celém světě. Nedá se to vyloučit a nedá se to dát v měřítku jenom Česká republika. Tato doména je prostě celosvětová. Rasismus a fašismus je celosvětový problém. Teď jde o to, že Romové hledají cestu hledají, kde by aspoň ty systémy jim byly nápomocný natolik, že by vyloučili tyto faktory, aby Romové nebyli přímo nástrojem, na kterým se tyto věci eliminují. To znamená, že fašismus, rasismus je prostě nasměrován tímto odlišnost, jiná barva pleti, jiné náboženství. To znamená, že Romové jsou právě touto skupinou, na který se vyeliminuje všechen prostě tato ideologie. Ale ten odboj se dá klidně přirovnat tomu roku 1944. Protože ideologie fašismu nebo těchto ideologií je neměnná. Ta zůstává pořád stejná. Protože v té době prvý, kdo byl zasažen tímto, byli Židé a Romové. Tak to znamená, že toto je periodický postup této ideologie. Opět se to opakuje. A vlastně Romové se vždycky musí přizpůsobit dané situaci. Vždycky se musí dané situaci přizpůsobit, protože pro ně jsou jenom ohraničené možnosti. Pokud by samozřejmě ten venkovní svět, který prostě podléhá určitým pravidlům, jsou tu pravidla. Nastavené pravidla demokracie a i v tomto prostoru není možné, protože když dám příklad Česká republika, Slovensko, osady, hrozný životní podmínky. To znamená, že tyto věci všechny byly vytvořeny systémem. Systém tyto věci vytvořil a Rómové, máš nějakou připomínku, Pavlíku?
Michal.
Michale.
Nevadí. Vojto, nemám. A já bych chtěl nazvat ten systémový rasismus správným slovem.
Ano.
A je to anticiganismus.
Anticiganismus, ano, přesně, toto je přesná definice tohoto.
A anticiganismus, a teď se používá, v Evropské unii se používá termín antigypsism. A to je specifický rasistický, specifický rasismus vlastně od té gáčovské společnosti k nám, jo. To znamená, veškerý, řeknu to od práce, budeme žádat o práci, tam nás diskriminují nás ve školství, diskriminují nás ve vzdělávání, diskriminují nás v bydlení. Takže je to všelijaké ty sféry, ty společenské sféry, a já nevím, jak se to řekne jinak po česky, ty elementy. Tak,
ano.
Tak ve všech těch elementech vlastně nás společnost nějakým způsobem rasisticky diskriminuje, protože jsme Romové. A to je vlastně ten slovo, to anticiganismus.
Já dlouho jsem člověk, který dělá analytiku a mně vychází pořád jediný bod. Pokud systém dovolí průchodnost všem těmto věcem, který si pojmenoval, tak je to zásadová věc systému. To znamená, že pokud systém dovolí, aby veřejně právně se prostě tyto věci dávali do života veřejně právně. To znamená, že určitým způsobem podporuje mínění těch majorit a mínění prostě směrem k těm Rómům. Vytváří se prostě prostředí, ale toto prostředí, pokud by stát, nebo státy lépe řečeno, by dokázali vyeliminovat právní cestou tyto věci, tak ta majorita bude respektovat právní ustanovení a nebo teda právní řád. Za prvé, fašismus jako takový právně by neměl vůbec co dělat v právním systému.
Ano.
Pokud toto stát dovolí a nepoužije právní normy, které už jsou nastavené k tomu, aby tyto věci vyeliminoval, to znamená, že je přímá podpora státu, aby tyto věci fungovaly, aby byly průchodné. Takže pokud je ve škole diskriminace, na úřadech diskriminace, toto jsou všecko věci, které podléhají státu. Můžou ovlivnit. Majorita jako taková se může v demokratickém systému projevovat jakýmkoliv způsobem. O toho je demokracie. Svoboda slova, svoboda shromažďování, ale musí to mít hranici. Pokud někdo propaguje ideologii, která omezí anebo nějakým způsobem jinou menšinu nebo jinou národnost, už je to nad rámec zákona. A toto se neřeší. Pokud se začne řešit toto, tak Romové automaticky poskočí, a nejenom Romové, všechny národnostní menšiny, od azylantů až po XX lidí, který prostě, na který má toto dopad, poskočí o 10 stupínků nahoru, protože bude vyrovnaná společenská rovnováha. To znamená, v demokratickém systému jde o toto. Být vyrovnaná společenská rovnováha. Bylo tradicí, že se tomu říkalo multikulturní společenství. Toto už neplatí. Multikulturní společenství jako takový zaniklo. Zaniklo, ale nejenom v České republice, protože multikulturní společenství je o toleranci, o podání ruky a pochopení. Mí kultury, já pochopím tvou kulturu a toto je multikulturní společenství.
Akceptovat.
To zaniklo, ale zaniklo jednou jedinou věcí. Evropská unie jako taková nastavila nějaké zvláštní pravidla. směrem k azylantům. Budeme teďka hovořit konkrétně o Sýrii. Sýrie jako taková, že má obrovský problém. Ty lidi potřebují pomoc. Ty lidi potřebují obrovskou pomoc. Jenže stalo se to normativem. Příkazem normativem. Tudíž tyto věci už nezapadají do multikulturního společenství. Takže se vyeliminovalo multikulturní společenství a jde o politický podtext. Vše je podřízeno politikou. Takže tyto věci, ale proč hovořím takto obšírně? V tomto ranci obrovským jsou právě i Rómové. Takže tyto věci se po nich svezly, po Rómech, a vlastně jsou Rómové obětí těchto věcí. Protože předtím, že v komunismu Rómové měli nějaké postavení, byli zařazeni do nějaké skupiny, která potřebuje pomoc, a nebo pomoc odmítá. Teď je postavení takový, že Rómové pomoc nepotřebují, protože ji odmítají. Ale není vidět ten podtext, že vlastně vše tento stav je zapříčiněn tím, že se ruší multikulturní společenství. A v multikulturním společenství samozřejmě přebírá roli vůdce všeho, přebírá majorita. A tu majoritu někdo musí nasměrovat. To jsou zase politici. Government.
Tak.
Takže v tomto systému, a vlastně toto je všechno návazný na jedinou tvoji otázku. Proč Rómové nepokračují v odboji? Rómové vlastně to mají v sobě. Oni ne, že hájí jenom to své romství. Oni, to je samozřejmě, protože ty to cítíš vnitřně, já to cítím vnitřně, bude to cítit z Bulharska, z Rumunska, z Maďarska, jsem Rom, jsem na to strašně hrdý.
Ano.
Chtěl bych jenom, aby pro mě byl vytvořen prostor, který mě umožňuje mé bytí. Bytí mé osoby, bytí mého národa a bytí mého vlastního já. Toto je podstata. O nic jiného nejde. To ostatní by mělo přijít samo. Pokud bude vytvořen tento prostor, tak Rómové automaticky budou rozvíjet jak svoji kulturu, tak svoje postavení, tak prostě uplatnění toho místa, kde chtějí žít. Ale pokud není vytvořen prostor, tak nikdy k tomuto nedojde. Máme spoustu Romů vzdělaných, to je vidět. Prostě já se nekoukám na regionální věci, já se na toto měřítko koukám v širším spektru, to znamená v celosvětovém. Máme už tolik v našem národu, tolika vzdělaných Rómů a tolika inteligence, že jsme schopní své záležitosti řídit a i obstarat. Takže pořád je tu řeč o něčem, že my Romové potřebujeme x času na to, aby jsme byli schopní řídit své životy a nebo ovlivnit své dění, který prostě bude do budoucna. Není to pravdou. My už v této pozici jsme, nám není daná možnost, aby jsme to rozvinuli. Tak vyčerpal jsem dostatečně toto téma.
No, vyčerpal, řekl jste to přesně. Ano, není nám dávána ta možnost, to je řekl dobře. Pane Vojto, moc krát vám teda děkuji, já budu dnešní vysílání ukončím. Chtěl byste na závěr říct k dnešnímu dní, tomu romskému odboji 16. května něco pro posluchače? Závěrem?
Chtěl bych říct jenom tohle. Romale, samen prala peňa. Ča o Roma kampelte Jan upre, koda a amen kampel. Buď sasti te bach říčina u savorenge romenge.
Šukáres palikera, šukáres Vojto. Až de vleha a le romenge savorenge většina bud zhor, ojte ava savore ketane, ojte kera šoros vaša maro národos.
Ampel amari romani barizor.
Esas. Thank you very much. Vojto, děkuji moc krát a dnešní vysílání budu končit. Romský Romani Resistance Day 16. května, historicky Den romského odboje. I'm finishing today's broadcasting. You have been listening to Grattan Puxon, former secretary of First Romani International Romani Union. Then you have been listening to William Billa, president of the organization in France, La Voix Rome. And also you have been listening to Wojciech Rác, who is the Czech Roma activist. Thank you very much, listeners. You can download our show today from specail.com. Also, you can listen to this show again on YouTube. And thank you for following us and listening to our radio. God bless Roma. Thank you.